actually quite likely, considering the fact that I didn't upload in so long. Even YouTube's own system told me that it didn't quite know how to recommend my video to anyone. So, welcome back to all those who haven't been here in a while. I actually don't know if I go into any detail about why I was gone, but I'm back now. Your listen is not the best item to receive here, especially considering I haven't gotten a single bomb yet. But that can change very quickly. I'd assume the secret room. Well, I already found the secret room, so it doesn't really matter at all. I actually didn't even think about that. You know, I always ask you to sort of comment feedback or tell me anything about your days or your evenings or your nights. But I feel like I always ask about any viewer input far too late. At a point in time when people are so laid back and relaxed. So, I guess you can just tell me how are you doing? How have you been doing? Have you been well? I feel like I get a lot of mixed stories from people when I do these ASMRcromator recordings. For some people, it seems like this is a wonderful day to end off an incredible day, and to other people, it's sort of a reprieve from what has happened. Regardless of that, it's important to keep looking forward. I sort of went into this ASMRcromator recording without any big plans or expectations. I feel sort of pressured to think of something before I go, but I've just been stuck on sort of some analysis paralysis of sorts for the last week. I was actually thinking about going back and doing this for a long time, but I sort of had this paralysis, like I couldn't do anything. Not physical paralysis, it's just sort of, I don't know, I couldn't be bothered to even do anything to further my life in any sense. I think the day I logged in, and that's why you're hearing me once again, and that's why I'm happy to praise you with my voice. We are going to go back and open that gold chest in the very first room, and just see what's in there. We will also go ahead and see what's in the secret room. I'm actually quite interested. Just a few coins, I guess checking the shop could be worth it, considering the fact that we do not have any money equals power as we did last time. Last time the shop was basically utterly useless to us. Though perhaps I could have snagged some good items that may have saved the run last time. I just sort of refused to engage with the mechanic. Well, had to clear my throat there and did not want to subject you to that sound there, so I quickly muted my microphone. That golden chest did end up being rather disappointing, but let's check the shop. I accidentally made him a troll last time, so perhaps I should donate some of my funds. I think they probably go to a good cause. I'll donate down to 14 because I'm surely I'll get one coin next floor, right? Well, anyways, I've been sort of doing a lot of introspecting today and the past few days. extremely social event. There's this feeling that I could almost get addicted to while you're going home or right after it ends. It's just this sort of utter quietness and emptiness. It's often compounded if you're sort of going home in the middle of the night, because there's no one out and about on these country roads at this time and this hour. Guess I will use one of my keys here. Unfortunately, I don't have enough keys to get both chests, but I am afraid the challenge room might close if I leave. Okay, I was super lucky. I accidentally ran into the chest. I wanted to keep around at least one of my keys in order to make sure I can get the item room. I must just call it the gold room again, which is, I actually don't know why I call it the gold room. It's objectively true, but I don't think that's what the room is called. Regardless, I was just sort of reflecting on that reflection, introspecting about the introspection of sorts. It's interesting in that sense. I don't know. I guess it's sort of thinking just sort of stuck with me, and maybe I can sort of externalize it in this ASMRcromator sense. I feel like I always end up getting really reflective during this commentary. But I do well and truly hope that you do follow me with these thoughts. Perhaps you just like the tinkling noises me and my keyboard produce, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. Okay, we're opening this item chest, a latch key. Guess I don't actually have to be afraid of keys that much anymore. Though I would actually like to find this floor's item room before I move on. I did get plenty of items, but I also took plenty of damage just now, if you saw. Let's see what we can get. It's always kind of funny how I have these rituals around making these things. It's I get out the quiet, non-squeaky chair for you. I have to readjust my microphone setup. I feel like I take 2 minutes to just fully calm my breathing before I start the recording session. It's interesting in that sense. Let's see what type of cards we get. The Sun is mediocre. The Hierophant is very good though. I think I might use the stars here. And it's absolutely worth it to go back for the item room. The wafer is an insanely good item. It's probably one of the best in the game, I'd say. Well, at least it's one of the best in the game if you're like me and you get hit. Though I do swear that it's way harder to play on my setup right now because of the way I'm sitting in order to properly record my audio for this beautiful ASMR recording session. Sure, I'll grab Nightlight. I'll see, maybe I'll be able to go hush. Though I have to kind of speed up massively if I actually want to make that happen. It would be very funny though. I do think I'd need some more range upgrades before I can properly deal with him as a Hazel though. I don't want to throw around needlessly. Regardless, I actually do think the flashlight is kind of good. Some would criticize it because it changes the behavior of tears, making it slightly less predictable, but I feel like the additional reaction time you have for some bosses, especially those bullet hell-like bosses, it's very useful. No, see, it's not very useful for Mama Gertie, and that's a perfect example of how things never work when you want to demonstrate them. I actually started breathing next to my mic too early. I can I was gonna say taking half a black out of damage is probably not worth it for this curse room, but I remain unpunished. You remain unpunished. My choice pays off. But I actually do think that it's something I've learned is that curse rooms are actually quite useful. Actually way more useful than I had in my mental model just a few years ago. It's only when I started playing just a lot of Isaac that I really found the true use. I mean, the first of these discoveries is obviously always the secret room. Is you go from secret rooms are bad to secret rooms are the greatest thing in the world. Though my hot take is that mostly comes down to unlocking the items that really make secret rooms good. Okay, so I found pills, which is a fairly useless one, but I do have 9 bombs, so I actually don't feel bad for sort of wasting the bombing those 2 beggars. I was just gonna make a really dark joke, but I probably shouldn't say that. I guess I am playing the Binding of Isaac after all. I'm sort of imparting problematic ideas in your subconscious. Okay. One funny thing is I somehow always feel very out of breath because I'm breathing so much, but I'm also just exhaling a lot while I'm speaking in order to create a very whispery voice. And also I'm just focusing on the Binding of Isaac to some extent. I really don't want to disappoint my viewer base. The way I see you, I don't think it really matters how I play. I think I'm always gonna end up with the comments telling me that I'm not min-maxing properly. And they're correct. I mean, last time I did lose, and I did just get hit by that maggot when I had no business doing that. Let's see. Well, these spiders are actually really annoying. I'm breathing a little bit tears up at this point in time. I feel like I've sort of gotten a lot of gimmick items. Camel undies, for example, is really bad for Azazel. I guess it would allow me to sort of AFK fight particularly difficult bosses, but beyond that, I'm not sure what sort of utility this item brings me. Like, if I get some sort of auto fight, if I get like daddy long legs, I guess it could be really good. But if you don't have an auto firing familiar, it's kind of useless to Azazel. Oh my god, that was really bad just now. That was really bad. I took so much damage. If I take any of these items, I am going to die, which is actually something I don't want to be doing. At this point in time, I'm almost afraid that I'm going to throw the run. I currently don't have any health upgrades, which is slightly rough, but I'll just have to deal with that. I'll use my temporary demon form, which actually is a huge boon to me. It gives me full range brimstone, which is obviously quite an improvement over my mini range brimstone that you have by default. Now, unfortunately, I did just lose at the half soul heart I got as a reward from the other golden chest. I actually really did not want that to happen, believe it or not, funnily enough. Well, let's just try to find the shop and purchase a soul heart if we can. Though right now I think what I'd be begging for most is some sort of HP up. I'm gonna have a red heart. imaginary baby there, but he sort of just refused to work with me. That's kind of upsetting. This is slightly scary. I have to stay logged in. Can't let my microphone ruin my Isaac gameplay experience. You know, I actually had a... Okay. So, sorry, I just got a little bit distracted. Shielded tears are incredibly good here. They're obviously not as good as when you have actual tears. They're quite a bit worse on Azazel. Man, this is so bad. See, I just found that eternal heart, right? Which I'd obviously want to take to bring to the next floor, but thing is, I'm kind of afraid I won't make it back to this room if I leave it here. I will try to farm out a soul heart at this point in time. Okay, that was an awfully placed bomb. I swear if any one of you listening right now goes down and comments with a timestamp of when I placed that bomb just to laugh at me, I would be super mad. Is what I would say if it was a content brain creator trying to farm engagement on my video, which I am, so please do comment. Well, anyways, this might be a black heart. I get some sort of card. Unfortunately, it is the devil. I would have much preferred a card sort of like the Hierophant or the Hierophant, or perhaps even the Hierophant. You know, I don't think I've ever really stopped to think like what even a Hierophant is. Like, I feel like I'm pretty well aware what a tower is, but I'm sort of unsure when it comes to the concept of a Hierophant. It might make sense to look into that after this run. I'm not pulling up Google right now to look that up, though I do feel that there's probably a lot of information about it considering it's tarot cards. It's a very scary room. I'm gonna get my infinite range. Okay, I just lost the eternal heart. I just lost the eternal heart. That is really bad. I was trying my best. In fact, I was playing so safe. I got the extra boost on my brimstone, but it wasn't enough. That was just this room was an attention check. And look whether you were playing the game absent-mindedly or not. And I passed for now. I continue to remain afraid, however. I don't think I am safe in the slightest. Okay. So, I don't think this guy's ever been worth it. I don't think I've ever gotten anything good out of him. He always takes way too many of your bombs and never pays out well. But I will give him a few. Because I am actually very afraid right now of losing this run. Mama Mega is pretty good though. That is really good. The Joker. I don't much care for the Joker, though I guess I can see what's in there. Okay, nothing good. See, I was hoping for an item that sort of upgrades my health. Because there are those upgrades where if you're at 1 heart, you can actually profit from it. That was, man, if I did not have Mama Mega right there. Okay, apparently Mama Mega just doesn't matter because I suck so much. Oh, dude, bloat is just the worst thing to get right here, isn't it? Okay, well, I lost all my gains. All my soul heart gains because I took stupid damage, but we live on. We see another floor. We live on to see another floor. which actually rhymes if you listen closely. Okay, that telepills could have been really bad right now. It ended up being fine, but it could have been bad. Oh, we got mom hands trying to snatch me up. That is an incredibly American thing I just said, which is kind of funny. I mean, I guess it makes sense considering just, I've learned English through American content for the most part. To those who do not know, I am currently recording this in Germany. Okay, so being invisible does not make you safe. That is really good to know. I did not know that. Alright, let's see what kind of stuff he gives me. That's no good. This guy sucks. He should consider moving on with his life, passing on to another stage of his life. Okay, finally got that HP up I was gunning for. And I immediately run into a soul flame. That's the fun with micromatter. You never really know what's gonna happen next. Is he gonna throw the run just for no reason? Maybe. It's more likely than you think. Okay, so challenge room does remain inaccessible for us, but we do end up finding a tinted rock, which is super nice. Until I saw this one, I actually just noticed that I haven't been paying attention to tinted rocks in the slightest for the last, 2 runs. I didn't look at tinted rocks last time, which might have actually could have ended up playing a role for why I won or didn't win in the end. I guess I did already sort of reveal that I did not win. Let's see what habit actually does. I'm not quite sure how habit works with the sulfur thing. Perhaps they combine well. Monstrous lung. I don't quite know what to make of this. I think I'm gonna say that I actually don't want this. As funny as it is. Okay, spider butt is worse. But here's the thing. I think monstrous lung would have absolutely ruined me. My tears rate is too low. I'm already charging for such a long time to get one laser going. And it does, it does hurt me so much not to give you a Cecil monstrous lung. But I guess at this point in time I usually take out my life lesson that I've learned over the past, since I recorded the last episode. But despite all my deep introspection, I actually don't think I've had that many epiphanies. I guess it sort of is just do things. I think I've already said this one, right? Actually, I did have something on my mind. It's sort of been something that I actually talked to with one of my friends today. It's connecting with other people, but in a very specific sense of that term, right? There's people who try to meet up with other people because they need to feel better, they need to distract themselves, but there's also people who can only be happy when they're around others. But there's this third category of friendship that is sort of under-illuminated sometimes, and it's the sharing incredible experiences friendship. And I don't mean sharing incredible experiences in the sense that you sort of go on a big adventure or something. I mean it more in the sense of life is good. And in fact, life is so good. You just want to talk to people and live the good life together with others. It feels selfish not to share in that easy the skies to defeat when you're a Cecil. He sort of just sucks on all levels. Okay, let's get our demon foreman. I did just notice I entirely forgot to use it during the mob fight. But I actually did feel quite powerful and quite confident for that one. I was sort of thinking philosophically again. I guess I have to think about how to title this video. I guess it would be something like share the good things, share the good times. And as I started saying this may sound really funny to some, right? Because, you know, if you're listening to this, I don't think it's entirely improbable that you're not doing that well right now, right? I know a lot of you are doing really well, but I know when I was watching Isaac videos in bed at night trying to fall asleep, I certainly wasn't doing well, but you know, things end up changing so quickly that now I feel in a situation to start talking like this. But I think if you just sort of start believing and start acting in a way that would reflect the goodness of your life, right? It immediately changes things. I'm reminded of the time I was applying for a scholarship, right? And I ended up seeing a lot of people who did not get accepted. It was these sort of selection seminars. And at the beginning, just right at the beginning, the moment you start talking to someone, you could instantly tell whether they were going to end up being taken or not. Not because they were less intelligent or something, or more stupid, or just plain shy. No, it was sort of a little bit of a deeper thing than that. It was that these people, they weren't acting like they were gonna get taken. They were acting like they're gonna fight their way to being selected, right? It's sort of, I mean, it's the classic phrase of fake it till you make it, but at the end of the day, that really is how it works. If you start optimizing for something, then you're gonna end up working towards that. Today it seems, however, as though I wasn't optimizing towards winning enough. And I cannot complain about the run. The run was really good. I did end up faltering, unfortunately. Next episode is going to have to be a win. I'm going to log in extra hard to make sure it is. But regardless of that, I'm glad you listened to me bramble and whisper for 30 minutes, I think. I'll see you around.